Yo, what is up, guys? It's, of course, your boy Bernie here along with Josh.
Howdy.
And today, guys, we're going to talk about the Premier League. It's back.
It's back, baby.
It's back and better than ever, and the table has just turned its ugly head. I mean, for some fans, but for other fans, this was a revelation, if you will. And obviously, you can look
Brand
at
new start,
excitement, definitely new players coming in, players making huge impacts for each and every team. And what better way? Let's start off with the Arsenal, the mighty
Arsenal,
as they defeated Crystal Palace and Patrick Vieira 2-0 to the good. And we're going to go really quick to their kind of match rating so we can see really quick who was out there on the pitch. I mean, we both watched this game. What did you make of both squads here as they are fighting for position, especially Crystal Palace, looking like a lot of people were high on them?
Yeah, I have to say that I think Arsenal, especially for the first 20 or so minutes, I think showed really what the capability of this Arsenal squad can be. Like with their exciting brand of attacking football, but then also high pressing, not really allowing Crystal Palace to get out of the back, really dominating the ball in the wings with Martinelli and Saka. Jesus looking dangerous. I just don't think that overall Arsenal looked very good for the first maybe like 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace definitely grew into the game as it went on, and I think they looked much more dangerous than Arsenal towards the second half.
Yeah.
But I do think that Arsenal, for this all the preseason hype and a lot of people talking them up, I think that they definitely showed that they can deliver on that with their first half performance. But then also they showed a little bit more stability, structure, a little bit more defensively soundness that I think will allow them to even get higher in the league, because you can score all the goals you want, play the beautiful attacking football, but if you can't keep the ball out of the net, can't have that defensive structure to see out games, then I don't think they would get to where their ambitions really lie.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you there. I think there was a lot of times when I looked at the game and I just saw, Crystal Palace, especially in those first 20 minutes, just get
hemmed into their own end.
Yeah, just couldn't really do anything. And then, like you said, once the second half came in, they grew into it. Obviously, great goal by Martinelli from a beautiful set piece or a corner piece from Zinchenko.
Yep.
Getting whipped out to him, putting him back in the box, and then Martinelli scores. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Arsenal, and I think it goes to like what you said earlier. The question now becomes for Arsenal, can they do this against the big clubs? Because this is something that Arsenal struggled with, especially with the top two, even top six at times, even though they beat Chelsea and many other teams as well. But, I think that with the way that they can score the goals, I still think that there were chances that they left on the board. I was a little disappointed in Martinelli on that first attempt that he had.
Yep.
Should have just
after the run from Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
After Jesus made a beautiful run, and I just think that he could have finished that a little bit better. And they just didn't look dangerous once they scored their goal.
They kind of took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
It looked like.
Yeah, and that's the only disappointing part about it. But other than that, everyone played their role. I liked what I'm seeing, and then I feel like once Tomiyasu comes back, I feel like the squad will be even more dangerous. Even though Ben White did okay, and I know a lot of people and a lot of people on the internet were talking about how he put Zaha in his pocket.
Yeah, I think more on that. I'd say that just Zaha was a little bit disappointing. I think he isolated Ben White a good amount of times, but he couldn't really take advantage of it. And so I think that Ben White is a serviceable outside back, but I think against the really elite of the elite wingers, especially with maybe have a little bit more offensive structure to their game, I think that I'm not gonna say he could be exposed because I still think he's a good player, but I think that his long-term position obviously is at center back. Yeah. So I think Tomiyasu coming back will definitely help them against more explosive wingers who like to isolate one-on-one.
And then I think another disappointing player as well for me was Martin Odegaard, the captain. Had a couple chances or maybe that one chance where he should have taken a shot and said passed. I mean, I don't want to go too,
Yeah, they won. That's all you can ask for.
And I think Arsenal fans have been clamoring for this win since last season because of the way that last season ended. They are definitely trying to do something here at Arsenal. I mean, we looked at the All or Nothing, and a lot of people felt the hype from there, and now rolling into this game. This is going to be a very interesting situation to see whether or not Arsenal can continue this former run going into the next fixture. I can't remember who they're going to play next, but I think a lot of people are expecting them to win their next couple of games.
Yeah, I think especially if Saliba and Magalhaes and Ben White can really form a defensively sound center back pairing between the three of them for the whole season, I think that'll give them a good foundation to then allow their attacking players to really like build on that and then create more as the season goes along.
Yeah.
And then last thing I guess I'll say for touchdown for Crystal Palace, I thought Joachim Anderson was unbelievable in this game. You could argue say like one of the best players in the field. So I thought he was a really good partner. And then Gay, a little bit unlucky with the own goal. But I think those two building from the back for Crystal Palace going forward, I think those are going to be a really good partnership for them. Kind of like I said a little bit before, a little bit disappointed in Zaha. I think he maybe could have been a little bit more clinical.
Yeah.
But I really like what I saw from Eze. I like what I saw from Decore, the new signing. And so I think that I'm not going to take too much away from this for Crystal Palace because I think that I don't think there's too much expectation on them to really make a crazy push for maybe like top 8 or whatnot. But I think they're going to be a strong mid-table team. And I think Eze, Zaha, IU, they can really do a lot of damage in this league going forward.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is going to be let's see how they respond. Well, they're going to respond. Maybe, hopefully not respond in our game against Liverpool.
Yeah, maybe later. Maybe they'll respond later.
Maybe the next game after that. But, Arsenal fans, you guys obviously have won the day for the Premier League on the first day of the grand opening. So let us know in the comment section down below. How are you feeling about your squad? Do you feel like you can challenge Man City for the title? Or do you feel like this is going to be top 4 for the Mighty Osh? Let us know in the comment section down below. Should we do
Liverpool next?
Liverpool next.
Let's rip off the Band-Aid.
Rip off the Band-Aid. 2-2
man.
Was the final score. Young Mitro scoring 2 goals. Salah and Darwin Núñez scoring 2 goals for Liverpool. I'll let you go first. You tactically, you knew this game a little bit more than I do. What's your analysis on this game?
I think more than anything, I think a lot of Liverpool fans would generally say they're disappointed with how he played. Yeah. And then not necessarily, I think, tactically that we could have done stuff different or anything like that. It just felt off. The performances of a lot of our players, like Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Firmino, did not look very good in this first game back. And I think that's why a lot of people, especially when we saw Núñez come on later, said that Núñez should have started. So hindsight 2020, but we all know that Klopp likes to let his players acclimate to the team, not necessarily throw them into the fire right away.
Yeah.
But especially our midfield and our outside backs, the passing just was not good. I mean, I will say I gave a lot of credit to Fulham because I thought that they pressed us really well and they put us into a lot of dangerous positions to turn the ball over and then create off of that. And I think that our midfield couldn't find a pass to our forwards. Salah felt isolated a lot of the game. I don't even think he touched the ball as much as he didn't touch it as much as he should. But I feel like there were rarely times where he got the ball in the impact positions just because I felt like transitionally from our defense and our midfield to our forward line, we turned the ball over way too many times, too many sloppy passes, errant passes. Firmino, for what it was worth, for what he's supposed to bring, I don't feel like wasn't as great at linking up play.
Yeah.
We had Diaz, who had a couple of brilliant moments. Obviously on the ball, he's dangerous. Hit the post twice, I believe. Once or twice. Definitely once. I thought defensively they were fine. I thought Matip was good. Van Dijk, we can talk about how I think that he may be sometimes a little bit too cool for school. But I think that overall, I think our center backs and our goalkeeper kept the shape well. I think we just didn't get enough from our attacking players, and then we didn't get the ball enough to those attacking players throughout the midfield game, and Fulham did a really good job of stifling us at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with Fulham more so than anything else. I know a lot of people are going to probably talk more so about the Liverpool side and, how they were a little disappointing, but I think that goes to the credit of the game plan from for Marco Silva and what he was able to do with the way that you talked about with the pressing. I mean, it felt
stifling our attack. Yep.
It just felt like our midfielders were isolated and just really couldn't do much. And so I was very curious to see, how we'd respond in the first half. We obviously didn't. But second half, I thought we responded pretty well.
Núñez coming on, making a difference.
Núñez coming on, just making a huge difference. I mean, you can clearly see that the runs that he makes are going to be dangerous, and you can see that those can potentially lead to goals for other people and himself as well. He tried those back heel
flicks 2 times in a row. Second one came off.
It worked this time. I
will say I also think that Núñez may obviously offer something different to Firmino, but I think that's also a dangerous component for other teams to have to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Because playing us in the past, we haven't really had that target, big body who can make runs in behind.
Yeah.
And so now for them having to deal with that as well, they have to think about that more, which allows Salah, Diaz, maybe even Henderson, Thiago to come in a little bit behind, take up that space, and then create more from those areas of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm sure you're about to touch on it later. This the Thiago injury, the midfield crisis at this point, it's just, I don't want to say it's not looking great because I have a ton of confidence in Carvalho, Elliott to play in that midfield, Curtis Jones when he comes back. It's just, at this point, it looks like if we're going to have real ambitions to challenge on all fronts this season, it looks like we might need to go out and sign a midfielder. And I know that's kind of like a meme at this point where everyone's like, oh, Liverpool need to sign a midfielder. And I feel like you can only do that. Klopp can only back what he has for so long. Whereas it feels like at this point, like we've kind of reached a new apex of like, all right, we've stuck it out. We do believe in the players that we have, but if we really want to challenge on all these fronts, as much as we love James Milner, he can't be starting a midfield 3 and trying to contend for multiple trophies this season.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And like you said, I was going to bring it up. I mean, it's just disappointing to see that Thiago got hurt once again. Obviously happened a little bit before the Champions League, happened here. It is frustrating to see that the brilliance of Thiago just can't be unleashed
on a frequent basis.
And and for how talented he is, I mean, we got the best ability is availability. I think anybody will tell you that. A coach will tell you that. It's an old cliche, but it's probably one of the truest cliches that you can think of. Thiago, if I could sacrifice my hamstring, I would.
I'll give it to him right now.
But it is a frustrating thing to see him injured. But like you said, this does give chances to Elliott,
Carvalho in the midfield
role. But we have to sign a midfielder, and I don't care how much it takes. And this could be total homer right here. You have to knock on the door of Borussia Dortmund and get Jude Bellingham. You can't tell me that we can't just come in with an offer that they can't refuse. They can't refuse because I think that, like you said, in order for us to really contend with the way that Man City played, and we'll talk about them probably a little bit later on a different video, we have to bring in a midfielder to contend with that, because there's no way that we are going to win a champion, or not even Champions League, Premier League, whatever league, Super League, Deli League, it doesn't matter. Like, we need a midfielder that's going to be a boss. And I just think it's a little bit disappointing from that perspective. I don't know if you have anything to say on the Trent Alexander-Arnold kind of people claiming that you got mossed.
I mean,
by Mitrovic.
I think outside of that one, the chance that Mitro scored, which is, I mean, good header, good, like, you know, you're gonna get from Mitrovic. He's gonna be a fox in the box. He's gonna be powerful. You're really gonna have to up your game when you're going against him, especially in a physical standpoint. And I think that, you know, the knock on Trent is that he can't defend, which I don't agree with in any regard. But you have to say that there are these times where it looks like he maybe turns off, maybe doesn't really do what's super necessary to like all out defend to try and get it, because he probably could have jumped a little bit earlier, or even like maybe held off Mitrovic a little bit more to allow Alisson to come claim it or anything like that. So I'm not going to slate Trent's ability to defend, because I think that he's a solid defender, obviously made out a little bit more by the internet, but obviously I think he could have done better, but I'm not going to go too much more, you know, I'm not going to go crazy on it.
Yeah, and I think as we continue to kind of look at Liverpool when they move on to next week against Crystal Palace, I think we'll get back on track that day, and we're gonna clearly see, you know, all the three guys. It sucks that Konate's hurt. I would love for him to kind of get in the mix there for center backs, because like you said, I think Van Dijk sometimes too cool for school, and you know, I think questions are starting to get asked about Van Dijk a little bit. You think that's just Twitter talk?
No, I mean, Van Dijk's as cool as they get, and so sometimes it's going to hurt him. Sometimes he's going to look great for it. I still think he's one of the best defenders, if not the best center back in the world, obviously. So not taking too much out of it.
Yeah, again, that's just kind of an overreaction thing. But yeah, I mean, like you said, this is going to be a very interesting situation to see from Liverpool going into next week playing against Crystal Palace. But let us know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of these two games? Obviously, the mighty Arsenal, to our friends, the mighty As, they win 2-0. Liverpool had to settle for a draw 2-2 when all things were considered. Let us know what you guys thought of both of those games in the comment section down below. Like I talked about earlier, if you're an Arsenal fan, do you think that this is the year where you are top four for sure and maybe contending for a title? And for Liverpool fans, are you concerned that we gave away the league in the first week of the Premier League?
It's over.
Season's over. Let us know in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie.
Josh.
This is Josh. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Peace.